right, we are live. Thank you guys for joining another Cash Practice Training Tuesday. Welcome. Whether you're here live or show up later on and see us in the replay, please let me know in the comments so you can hear me, and maybe let me know if you're watching the replay of this or coming in live. So today, I was giving one of my mastermind students some really important advice based on hard lessons that I learned when it comes to hiring and properly setting up the right kind of compensation package and motivation and incentives for your practice, for your practice's employees. And I mean, this was kind of like hard lesson learned stuff, and I've helped a lot of people through the hiring process. So we're going to get into that momentarily. I myself just hired another PT just recently and a new office administrator. I'm going to talk briefly about why, when most people are actually firing, I and some of my students, like I just mentioned, are actually hiring. But before we get into that, I'm very excited. I either this weekend or next weekend plan on having my first COVID-19 haircut, and my son, who was supposed to get his first haircut back in March, we've been putting it off. We're finally just going to do it ourselves. I have like a wave here. I haven't had this since like 7th grade, and now it's like reforming into this perfect wave. For your surfers out there, you know that reforming waves can be quite fun, but this is not so fun. So it has to go. But I'm thinking if I can convince my wife, we might do like a multi-stage haircut and do a lot of pictures. I'm thinking like my son, I don't know what it is, but it seems like the back of his hair grows a lot faster than the front. So he has like this natural mullet tendency, which is pretty awesome. And he wasn't, conceived or born in Arkansas or anything, but I'm thinking maybe we could do like partner mullets, like Euro soccer, faux hawk kind of things before we kind of clean it all up. So anyways, if you want to see those pictures in the comments, just put mullet, and I'll make sure to add them to your comment or tag you in some way once we get those done in the next week or so. All right, so let's dive in. So mastermind students hiring someone and was asking, basically said they're going to be a 1099 contractor and paid per patient. What other kind of things can I do to incentivize them, or parts of the compensation package that I can incentivize them to do some marketing, maybe pay them for blog posts or, whatever the case may be, but just kind of other add-on things. And I said, it's interesting you asked that, because I had the same idea a long time ago when I was hiring some of my first employees. And I learned the lesson that before you even get into all of that kind of stuff, as far as anything outside of just your regular straightforward salaried position or compensation package, you got to make sure that you understand what motivates that person, because I think we will often have the misconception that everyone else has the same style of motivation as us. Like if we're motivated by money, or we're motivated by, freedom of time or autonomy or whatever, and you don't want to do that. Everyone is different. And so it's really important that you use, methods within your interviews, as well as something you can have them fill out to know what actually motivates them. So for my mastermind group, one of our resources is an employee motivator index that you can give to any, incoming employee or prospective employee during the interview process, and see what truly motivates them, not only to see if it's going to be a good fit for your management style, but also for the things that might help you with negotiating the compensation package, such that you can come out with a win for your business, but also something that's going to be inherently motivating for them. So back to the story I originally had, is I had a PT that I brought in, and I'd set him up with a pay per patient hourly rate that was quite high. And I was thinking, well, if I pay him really high per hour, then he'll inherently be motivated to go out and hustle business, because the more he brings in, then the more he makes. And instead of looking at his past history and seeing that he had actually been in that type of situation before, but for years, his schedule was up and down, up and down. And one of the things he was complaining about coming in was that he never had that stability of his pay, because it was kind of feast or famine. And I didn't, at the time, this was years and years ago, I didn't think, why would I consider this a motivation for him to set up the same kind of thing and expect him to go out and, and hustle his own business the way I would? So after about 6 months and realizing, wait, this isn't working, he's not going out and doing his own thing, I'm paying him a way higher hourly rate than anyone else would be normally making, but it's not functioning as that motivator to get him out and doing his own marketing, I'm still doing all that and working hard to fill his schedule. So we had to renegotiate. And ultimately, once we really talked through it, it became very obvious that stability was a big motivation for him. And so, I gave him some different options. He ultimately took a salaried position option that doesn't go up and down. The upside potential wasn't nearly the same, but he didn't have that downside, potential that he was constantly dealing with in his previous position. So the take home point here being, especially for those, even if you've done a lot of hiring, you never thought of this, is to find out what those true motivations are ahead of time, and then try to match the compensation packages and the incentives and those kind of things to what's going to really drive them forward and what's also going to be beneficial for your business. So going to make this a short one, guys. As always, if you appreciate this information, please let me know with a thumbs up or a heart. Again, if you want to see our mullet series COVID-19 first haircut pictures, do comment mullet or pictures or haircut or something in the comments, and we'll have some fun with that soon and get those posted. Thank you guys as always for joining. We'll see you next Tuesday.